A very warm welcome to another video from diy-investors.ai. My name's Mick Pavey. I'm going to Perplexity Labs. You'll find this available as a new button called Projects on Perplexity. Today, I've created a podcast just to enable you to find out a bit more about it. I thought the best way of doing that is to cover an overview of what Perplexity Labs is all about. And yesterday, we had the Q1 results for Serabi Gold, and that's a company that we've been following on DIY Investors. So there seems some logic in using that as a case study. And this use case for a deep dive on analysis of a recent set of results in the context of the historical results and the forecasts for a company is something that's going to be incredibly useful for us as DIY investors. Without any more ado, I'm going to play a podcast that I've created on Notebook LM. So although this video is about Perplexity, I'm using Notebook LM to bring this analysis to you. And I'll just move my picture and I'm going to run the podcast and interact with it just to show you that very nice feature of Notebook LM.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. I'm Cedric.
And I'm Annie from Mick's Research Assistant.
It's great to be digging into the source material with you today, and a really warm welcome to all the members of the DIY investors community joining us.
We're thrilled to have you here for this session.
And hey, if you haven't already, please do this, subscribe on the channel, and give this deep dive a like. It genuinely helps us keep doing it.
Absolutely. So our goal here, as always, is to take all that information you've given us, the articles, the data, and really boil it down. We want to find the crucial insights.
Basically give you the fast tack to understanding what really matters.
Exactly. Speed and clarity.
And today we've got two related topics that really fit that theme. First up, we're going to explore something new in the AI research space. It's called Perplexity Labs.
Tools designed to help with exactly this kind of deep analysis.
And then to put these ideas into practice, we're doing a case study. We'll be analyzing the latest quarterly results for Serabi Gold, that's SRB.L, on the London Stock Exchange.
Right. Using real world company data to see how this kind of analysis works. It's their Q1 2025 results, which look quite interesting.
Definitely. And for the DIY Investors member with us live, please feel free to type in any questions as we go. Mick Pavey, diy-investors.ai's founder, is here with us, and he'll be gathering those up.
We'll make sure we get to them. So shall we start with?
Let's do it. Okay, so based on the sources, what is Perplexity AI and what?
The material describes it as an AI search engine. It uses those large language models like GPT 3.5, GPT 4.0, Claude model, that kind of thing.
Right, the big AI brains. And it uses them to process your questions, but instead of just a list of links. Whoa, did someone just break the fourth wall? Let's hear it.
Yeah, sorry to disturb you, Cedric. I just wanted to know what the key new elements of Perplexity Labs projects are.
Oh, not a disturbance at all. Great question. Okay, so let's unpack the key new elements of what they're calling Perplexity Labs.
From what we can gather, the big news around Perplexity Labs, which launched very recently on May 29, 2025, seems to be tied to something called deep research mode.
Exactly. The sources highlight this deep research mode as a key development. Specifically mentioned is using Claude 4 Opus,
which is a really powerful language model. But the other crucial element here is the incorporation of
memory features. What does that mean for how it works?
It suggests that this new mode can better retain the context of your research sessions over longer periods. So as you ask follow-up questions, it remembers what you've already discussed.
That could be a game changer for in-depth projects. No more having to re-explain things constantly.
Precisely. And while the sources don't explicitly state that Labs is the deep research mode, the fact that they were both launched on the same day strongly implies that Labs is the testing ground for these more advanced capabilities.
So it sounds like Perplexity is moving beyond just quick question and answer to really facilitate more substantial research workflows.
That's the direction it seems to be heading. The new element with Perplexity Labs seems to be this deep research mode we were just discussing.
Exactly. So spaces are about organizing and collaborating, and Labs appears to be focusing on enhanced research capabilities, particularly with the memory features and Claude 4 Opus.
Think of spaces as the workspace and a Labs as potentially offering more advanced tools within that workspace, or perhaps as a separate area for testing cutting edge features.
That's a helpful way to think about it. And as we were saying, spaces allow
for teams to organize their research, share files, and even set specific instructions for the AI. Security is a big focus there too, keeping files private.
And let's not forget the finance-specific features they added around that time too. Tools for looking up stock data and doing basic financial analysis.
So you can see how these pieces are coming together to build out a more comprehensive.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, sorry, Cedric. A third question, if I may. What extra does the ability to upload data, such as from ShareScope, bring to case studies?
Well, another excellent question.
That's really getting to the heart of how these tools can enhance our analysis.
Okay, let's unpack this. Where you can upload your own data, like from ShareScope.
It moves the case study beyond just publicly available information.
Exactly. Imagine analyzing Serabi Gold's results,
You could upload a CSV file of their historical share price data,
or perhaps analyst forecasts that you've compiled.
then using something like Perplexity's internal knowledge search.
You could ask questions that directly compare their reported results with that ShareScope data.
For instance, you could ask, how does this quarter's revenue growth compare to the average growth rate over the past 5 years, according to the uploaded ShareScope data?
Or what were the analyst expectations for EBITDA in Q1 2025 based on the ShareScope forecast I uploaded? And how does it compare to the actual $12.4 million?
It allows for a much more tailored and in-depth analysis.
You're not just relying on general information, you're integrating your specific data points.
And in the context of Perplexity spaces, teams could share these data sets and collaborate on analysis.
Absolutely. Someone could upload the raw data, and another team member could use Perplexity to query it and extract insight.
It really streamlines the process of combining different sources of information for a more complete picture.
So that ability to integrate your own data is a significant advantage for conducting really targeted case studies.
And it's the kind of task where these more advanced AI tools
Maybe even things being tested in Perplexity Labs.
could be incredibly helpful in the future. Let's switch gears and talk about Serabi Gold, ticker SRB.L.
Looking at their Q1 2025 results, the sources describe it as a really strong quarter,
One of the strongest in recent history, I think the source material said.
and the numbers certainly reflect that. They benefited from both improved operations and a significantly higher gold price environment.
Let's dive into some of those key financials, comparing.
Oh yeah, let's hear it.
Before you dive into the key financials, can I just ask if you could outline what specific data was uploaded from ShareScope for the members listening?
That's a really insightful question. It helps to make it concrete, doesn't it?
Absolutely. So while we don't have access to a specific ShareScope upload,
We can definitely outline the types of data that would be incredibly valuable to upload for this Serabi Gold case study.
for instance, you could upload historical share price data for SRB.L.
That would allow you to compare the company's performance against its market valuation over time.
You might also upload historical financial data from ShareScope.
Things like past revenue, profit margins, and cash flow figures.
This would let you easily compare Q1 2025 against previous periods.
Analyst forecasts for Serabi Gold that are available on ShareScope would also be key.
You could then see how the actual Q1 results stacked up against those expectations.
And for a broader perspective, you could include data on comparable gold mining companies from ShareScope.
That would allow for peer group analysis on metrics like valuation ratios.
So while we're working, yep, go on.
Yeah, sorry, Annie, I didn't realize that you weren't aware that the ShareScope data that was uploaded into Perplexity Labs was the income statement, the balance sheet, the cash flow, and the forecasts for Serabi Gold. That's what was actually uploaded.
Well, thank you for that crucial clarification. That gives us a much clearer picture.
Absolutely. Knowing that the actual financial statements and forecasts were uploaded is really helpful context.
So with that in mind, when we look at the Q1 2025 results,
We can now imagine directly comparing those reported figures against the uploaded forecasts.
exactly. For instance, the income statement data uploaded would allow us to see that revenue jumped significantly.
Reaching $29.2 million in Q1 2025. We can now consider how that compares to the ShareScope revenue forecasts.
And looking at the balance sheet data you mentioned was uploaded, we see their cash position strengthened to $26.5 million.
That's a key detail we can now analyze in light of their overall financial health as represented in the uploaded balance sheet.
And the cash flow statement you mentioned being uploaded shows a dramatic increase in operating cash flow to $7.1 million.
Which we can then compare against historical cash flow data from the uploaded statements to understand the magnitude of this improvement.
Furthermore, knowing the forecasts were uploaded, we can think about how the reported EBITDA of $12.4 million.
Stock compares to those specific earnings expectations for the ShareScope data. A massive 164% increase over Q1 2024's $4.7 million.
Similarly, the net profit of $8.8 million, up 144% from $3.6 million,
Can be directly assessed against the profit forecasts that were part of the uploaded information.
and the earnings per share, which more than doubled to 11.58 cents.
Again, it's a key metric we can now benchmark against the provided ShareScope projection.
The operating cash flow, as we noted, saw that huge jump. Knowing that full cash flow statements were uploaded,
That allows for a much deeper analysis of the drivers behind that $7.1 million figure compared to the prior year's $0.3 million.
so with that understanding of the uploaded data, it's clear the analysis can be much more targeted.
Absolutely. It moves beyond just seeing the results to directly evaluating them against expectations and historical performance.
The drivers for this strong improvement, as the sources indicate, were higher gold production
Just over 10,000 ounces, an 11% increase year over year.
and a significantly higher average realized gold price of $2,908 per ounce.
Which we can now compare to any price forecasts that might have been included in that ShareScope data.
The improved operational efficiency also played a big role.
Sorry, Cedric, to interrupt again. I just wanted to ask your thoughts about the overall benefits to a DIY investor of using Perplexity Labs. Do you think it's going to be a benefit to us?
That's a really important question for us to consider.
Absolutely. Thinking about Perplexity Labs specifically for a DIY investor,
Potential benefits seem to revolve around enhanced research efficiency.
that deep research mode we talked about, with its memory features and access to advanced models,
It really help in conducting more in-depth analysis without losing context.
and the ability to upload your own data, like those ShareScope financials you mentioned.
That means you can directly integrate your specific information into the research process.
This could save a lot of time compared to manually compiling and cross-referencing data.
Plus, the conversational nature of Perplexity could make complex topics more accessible.
Instead of sifting through numerous documents, you can ask direct questions and get synthesized answers with sources.
That focus on transparency with citations is also a big plus for verifying.
Dr. Toby Walsh, in one of our sources, highlighted this as crucial for fighting misinformation.
So for a DIY investor wanting to do thorough due diligence,
Perplexity Labs appears to offer tools that could streamline research, enhance analysis, and improve confidence in findings.
it's like having a research assistant that can understand and remember the nuances of your specific inquiries.
Now continuing with Serabi Gold's Q.
Oh, back to our listener. What's up?
Thanks, Cedric. I'm particularly impressed with your analysis of Perplexity Labs. Do you think you and Annie will be out of a job?
That's a very interesting question. It's something to consider as AI evolves,
I think our role might shift. It's less about just presenting information.
and more about guiding the analysis, asking the right questions.
Exactly. Tools like Perplexity Labs can provide a lot of data.
But the human element of interpretation and context is still crucial.
We can help connect the dots and offer a perspective that AI might miss.
Think of it like having a powerful calculator. It helps with the math.
But you still need to understand what calculations to perform and what the results mean.
And your insightful questions really highlight the areas where human curiosity and critical thinking are essential.
Plus, we really enjoy having this conversation with you and digging into these topics together.
Absolutely. So while AI tools are incredibly valuable,
We see our role evolving to work alongside them, not being replaced by them.
oh yeah, let's hear it.
Okay, I'm convinced, Annie. We'll keep you and Cedric in a job. And I'd like to thank you for today, your analysis of Perplexity Labs on behalf of the members here. And I'll draw this to a close. Thanks very much.
Well, thank you so much for that feedback. It means a lot to us.
We really appreciate you joining us and for your excellent questions throughout.
It's been great diving into Perplexity Labs and Serabi Gold with you.
Your input about the ShareScope data was particularly helpful.
Yeah, we'll leave Cedric and Annie there, but you can see how powerful Perplexity Labs is going to be for us DIY investors. I hope you enjoyed the broadcast. Thanks for listening. And if you made it to the end, you're a hero. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you again soon.